All right, this is also very important to know. If it keeps the people connected, getting used to each other so they won't freak out on another, it's funded. If it keeps people involved in our consumption, whether it be creating a restaurant, you can start off with, serving pastas, and then you can also, gain the labor for making the pastas, and you can branch out to having other foods under your umbrella corporation, right? Um, that's also funded as well too. Just make sure everybody's involved in our consumption. It's untampered with. We need, we can work side by side with the detainees. There's a lot of work to be done. Everything needs to be constructed brand new. Everybody needs to be under healthy circumstances, under healthy roof, under healthy living. They need to be fed, and also they need to also, understand that there's more very, more important things to watch out for, like animals that need to be, populated, and they need to have food that needs to be populated. And if we have somebody, thinking that they're too good, send them out there with the lions or tigers, and they'll know firsthand that they'll understand patience, they'll understand wisdom. And I mean, we still gotta, take care of the animals, so education eliminates all conflict, man. It has to stop with you at some point. I don't care what's happened to you or any situation. Let it stop with you. Give it to God. Hey, that's short lived. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's going to be toxic. To build you a home. You want to keep living on it with your beautiful family. You want to stay fed and clothed and have a great brand new car, a great life. Keep on building with us. And you're going to keep knowing why it's short-lived. It's so obvious. We bear the same fruits. All right? Because the mass majority, new life keeps on coming in. This education needs to remain constant. This is literally how all of government officials, got funded, right? To govern the people, right? Great. Understand what government means, right? To govern each other. Make sure you're healthy. And that's how, with the right direction and great helping hands and manpower, we have great relations worldwide. That's very, very important. Anyways, you always, you can build, homes underwater, underground. It can be very, very fun. Send some detainees out there with law officials side by side, making sure the sea is, clean. Your life can be very, very fun and worth living. Get all that shit out of your head. No, it's a short-lived scenario. That's literally self-inflicting. All that conflict starting, thinking you're tough, you ain't tough. There's someone more tougher than you. All right? Or else it'll get to a point where the human population is increasing, and then the demand in food and animals are not being met, to where they're not caring for the animals and they're not populating and producing because their food is lacking. So, dude, there's a real balance on why you're even having a great life in the first place. Now everybody's making that big buck. Now everybody is listening. That's what you wanted in the first place. You wanted people to listen to you, not break the rules. That's what they're doing. You're not going to be stopping people for a traffic light or whatever. Give them a warning or whatever, but just implement that constant firmness so people won't get out of line. And you can implement it in healthy ways on the internet. Give scenarios of when people die, go doing this, of when something happened. Give real life outcomes, real life scenarios, real life problem solving skills. Education will eliminate it all. That's short lived. Entertaining conflict and all of that stuff, you know? So that's not going to be tolerated. It's very self-inflicting, and that's not the way of the world. When you can literally like have a great life. A great life doesn't need the weapons. A great life doesn't need conflict. All right? So understand that. And I mean, look forward to a very great, fun, enjoyable life. Everybody already, keeps on getting used to each other, staying connected through satellite Wi-Fi connection everywhere. Now we have, understand that this is the era in where now the internet is our great use of education to implement firmness. Back then, we didn't have that, right? So it solves everything. So now we're looking at conflicts that used to happen back then, whether it be through land or whatever. Nowadays, you won't ever see that, right? Nowadays, there's things that people went through back then that you'll never see in today's day. Why is that? Because we've created great equity and great relationships with education and lessons learned when others went through that. All right? So understand that there's tons of work to be done. You do not get funded by locking people up. You don't get funded by of course you get funded by everybody's labor, but I mean to a point where now we're being like harassed or like with that radioactivity. You can't do that, all right? Now the people aren't feeling governed. There's people homeless. Are they governed? It don't look like it, right? Which is why you need to direct yourself the right way, because you're getting new employees. They probably are fucking crime junkies, fixed on crime movies and just wanting to see like toxic narratives. It's a talk that needs to be held, because it's literally like getting toxic within. So like we literally create partnerships and become equally employed, and then we're over here put into great relationship positions because you guys are freaking out like over like education and shit. You think you're better or something off egos or like just off crime, when you need to educate yourself, right? Off of medication and the fact that people stay involved on medication, drugs, foods, right? So it won't be tampered with. Now when you legalize it, now everything can be organized in their designated area. Now you can be creative, right? And you can, pay these people to send their make to pharmaceutical industries. How else are they knowing how to make this stuff? So you create good relationships. If they know how to make it, if you catch them on the seas, create good relationships with them. At least they're going to be directed into the pharmaceutical, and where the scientists can test it exactly what it is. Then they put to good use. Then, okay, this property is made for this medication. Like, dude, like you need to lead by example so you can see all that shit gone. It's 2026. Nobody's entertaining that. Everybody's listening. Everybody's doing what it needs to take for a nice mansion, a good, healthy lifestyle, and everybody loves getting along with each other. All right. So, yeah, and then you can have, like public parks with like theme rides, like you see, like at Six Flags or Disneyland, in a public park. You can have your life cool, and just build, give. Military, law officials, border patrol, go to the prisons, and you're gonna work side by side, building with detainees, and you're gonna lay out the rules. Hey, you better not act sweet, or you're gonna be dealt with. All right. I mean, we're all grown-ass men and women. Even the kids are more wiser than you guys nowadays. All right. and they're gonna be better. We don't have time for that shit. Alright? Anyways, and that's how you solve it. They have warning signs, right? They have it's all education. And plus, if you tamper with whatever on your surroundings, it's gonna fall back on you, right? If you make your water dirty, if you make the water dirty for whoever you're targeting, you're gonna be drinking that dirty water too. All right? No one ever gets away with going against God. All right? And it's a bigger world. You'll drive yourself crazy. I mean, we already have tons of examples, you know? And then you already know how to healthy increase your wages so you can always stay under comfortable living standards no matter how the economy fluctuates. Every employee, all staff, $10, $20 every pay period for a guarantee raise every 3 months. It's already being effective. Every workplace that I'm stationed in a healthcare operation, automatically. And it needs to be implemented. It cannot stop with the ones already doing it now. That's why you have to teach the next employees, the new employees, that it's mandatory to follow these healthcare guidelines, or you can go to jail. You can literally go to jail for that because it's considered manslaughter. So you need to increase each other's wages, teamwork, right? And the demand in labor needs to be just as in demand as those that are paying funds, right? Because then you go out of balance, right? So now everybody just builds everything brand new, everybody involved in our consumption, taking care of the animals, making sure the animals have everything to eat, and then replant, reharvest. Now it makes sense, right? When people get paid, right, to make these movies, and you see them in like a school scenario, and they come from all over the country getting along, presenting different personalities they come across, education, so the people won't freak out, and everybody's getting used to each other and stays used to each other, right? And then spreading the good word in many forms, whether it be through warnings of somebody overdosed on a medication because it was overly given to a slender individual, and it wouldn't have happened to a bigger individual. And that's why they have warning signs on the actual medication on the vial. So they have all of these things that are very important that cannot be taken for granted. There's not going to be any technology, to use or to operate if people are getting careless. And when people start like losing the value of others, you've seen that. So that's why it's very important to always be there for your surroundings. Because it's God every turn. When I'm talking to her, I'm talking to God. When I'm talking to him, I'm talking to God. When I'm talking to the animal, I'm talking to God. Like have a really quality, heightened, godly life. Not a diluted life on flesh. When you lean on flesh, it dies with you. When you feel rotten, you feel sick. God obviously gives signs, like when you're with your partners, what's in front of you gets sick, you have to take care of what's in front of you, right? Not even one person can be a healthcare risk. Not even one person is allowed to not get that healthy living standard. If you have a dispute with somebody, if you think somebody's this and that or a bad person, they had poor example. Somebody was probably provoking them. So now it's time to end it with you, and you lead. Give them a better way out, and with all these guidelines to watch out for. And this is why anything presented to the world is the world. Whatever you are, we are. Everywhere in the world. Because our health is our business. And that's how we keep everybody involved. And that's how we keep everybody informed. And that's how we suppress all disease and never see it. And that's how we get to the no, to the why, to the where, and the how. Respect and privacy goes a long way. Being there for each other goes a long way. Because the ones supposedly being the shot callers now, they're going to go old and weary. Some are being taken out for no reason, and they're doing everything right. Off of this fucking radio shit that they're trying to do to me too. It ain't working. We walk with God. We walk fearless. And they'll always get caught. Just leave, whoever you are. Because God said you could leave. It's pointless. There's tons of work to be done. People are in old homes right now. They need to be made brand new. Every 5 years, even if it's a fairly new home, take it down, make it brand new. Every old home, brand new. Take it down, make it brand new. Every old road, make it brand new. Construct new pathways, new roads. Build underwater. It could generate some, machinery to make the harmful debris that the animal sea life encounter, to where you can filter that in a house, generation of air conditioning to an underwater home. While, we all work there together, cleaning out the trash, because people love the fish. Wires get cut underwater. Trash flies with the wind. Life is busy. The people are producing, mass majority, kids, And there has to be food also, for the animals and their plants. The people doing it now, they're going to grow old and weary. Sometimes they're not going to have the energy to explain it in full detail like this. They're going to be wanting to sit down and catching their breath because they're already getting older. Right? So that's why you pass down the great healthy contributions, the great healthy patterns down to the new life. Because if they go off on a toxic narrative, then it ends everybody for no reason, and it wasn't even our fault. The people will never lack anything. Not with this fundamental. Now you know how to increase your wages the healthiest way, so you won't be belittled by somebody that tries to buy out your beautiful, founder or whatever. You have kids to feed. You have a house to maintain. You have your health to maintain. Other people, we've seen it. They don't value what's in front of them if it's not them or their loved ones or their close ones. But there's a whole family. Every one of our families internationally, they do. That's why we don't speak on our partnerships. We've seen people backlash people just off of gossip or rumors, and then there's people that didn't even know anything about the situation, and then they have real hatred that's unexplained towards this person, team, or whatever. Who knows what it is, off of gossip. And that gets them nowhere. That didn't create big cities. That's self-inflicting. Don't do that. Lead. Be that great person, even when you don't see anything good in front of you. And that's how it stops. There was a lot of forgiving that we had to do to get to this point. All right? People thought they were cool doing bad things and then going off and, killing, us that we believed in God or something. Like, they try to keep you from God, and they think, like they have power. Like, a lot of innocent people died, dude, and we don't want that to happen, because like they all learned their lesson, and that's why we got to a good point today. We don't want you to be gasping for your last breath when you don't have to. We don't want you to feel sick when you don't have to, when sickness can be very, very rare and only with the seasons. All right? Because people, like, we've seen, like, people adapt to medications, and they just think people are getting sick, and then they create viruses, and then somebody's trying to have this power trip, or I don't know what the fuck. We can't explain it because we don't have shit in our head, But we see all this happen together, right? So how do we solve it completely? Through education, through warnings on, hey, that's very short-lived and it's self-inflicting. You're not gonna get anywhere over that. See how they like keep on like messing like with my focus and trying to derail my focus for no reason? Anyways, everyone just needs to build for their surroundings, make sure all of their surroundings are healthy, and make sure they're clothed. Some people need there's literally demanding labor to keep on living. And I understand, just like, your families offered, funds to invest. We always say, leave it in the foundation with the rules, with the firmness, healthy relationships, good friendships, great team working skills, great problem solving skills, great relationships that cannot be broken. That's worth way more. Through the rules like washing your hands, staying, healthy when the economy fluctuates, teamwork, being understanding with one another, looking out for the best interest in everyone's health. Or if one's affected, then we all get affected. That's worth way more. That's how it starts. And you'll notice the people that usually pay people to like do their labor, and they just want to like just go out and vacate, and they don't understand that there's people getting paid to vacation to keep great relationships internationally. That's why they get funded, because we understand the importance on unity and the good word. That's what builds homes, big cities, takes us to space with good communication skills, staying connected, staying used to each other. Ask the people that you think are rich when there's no such thing. Ask them. You know, they started going on vacay. Their surroundings started to rot. People weren't wanting to do landscaping. They wanted to do the same thing they did. So we lacked a demand in labor work. They wanted people making commission and sales. They're getting paid good, traveling the world, showing off their life and flashiness, right? Their surroundings started to rot. Because now the builders wanted to do everything they did. You know? It looks like nothing else. I'm cleaning, I'm mopping with you, throwing out the trash with you, washing my hands with you, eating, going to the restroom, getting sick with you, living side by side with you. Understand the importance of the good word. There's sports, great relations. There's weightlifting. There's religion. I don't care what you call yourself. Unity. Anything, call yourself whatever, dude. You're literally, getting everybody involved. Great. But understand, when you love and care for what's in front of you and you respect them, that respect is reflected back. And now they grow some understanding, and you know what? Thanks. Here you go. Thank you. You continue to respect each other. You know you don't want nothing taken from you, right? Neither do they. We all bear the same fruits. All right? Everyone is innocent. They just had poor examples of leadership, poor examples given. Everybody only knows what they're presented to this day. And there's new life that can go hiking on a trail at a park or something, and then they didn't know anything about certain poisonous poison ivy, or a raccoon that has that urge or something. Like, they didn't know. They were some new life that wasn't informed. This is why constant education is important. They're trying to pet this new animal because, oh, look at a beautiful animal. And then out of nowhere, the raccoon just attacks them. And they learned the hard way because nobody told them. Or they're over here going to the restroom, and they're like, oh, the world is my oyster. And then they grab a leaf to try to wipe their ass or something, and they get poison ivy and they're fucked. You get me? Or not maintaining your crop and harvest on your field, and then that harvest goes bad because you didn't monitor it right, or you didn't you get me? So it's perfected over time through trial and error. Same with medication, same with dude, it was all literally from earth for life. You get me? If somebody out there is doing this and that, they learned it from what was presented out there, and all of the time they want to be great. Then give them something to be great, something that's sturdy, something that won't disappoint them. Or else, if you don't give them an opportunity, They're gonna be all desperate for a buck. They're making what, crack and just feeding the kids whatever, and then just for $1. Understand all of the benefits and a great life you can see when you start leading the right way. Instead of adapting, oh, they're going to get arrested, they're going to get arrested, they're going to get arrested, you see no real change. Instead, you teach and you educate. That's short-lived. People died. You can still be very, very firm. And you will always be firm. But you also, say, hey, look, you got to be healthy. All of that is short-lived. I know you want a house. I know you want to be fed. You want to be clothed. You want a partner. We all bear the same fruits. Nobody can deny any of these things. And that's the same for everywhere in the world. It's all relatable, man. Stop thinking you're like a whole different species and shit. You're not. Those prisons are going empty. Unless they're making up laws or they just don't want to see anything good in the people when they're listening and they're at work or some shit. And people lie to get away with things. We've seen like mistresses lie on their current boyfriends. Their boyfriends don't want to leave, so they try to, create conflict just to get rid of their current situation. Dude, there's many things that could be like said and manipulated, even like within like the departments, and like it's just messed up. So like, how do we never see it again? Through education, right? And we can literally put that scenario in motion picture, make a movie. All law officials, they're already in movies with their community. They pay, the community and the kids, to educate in this narrative, this scenario. And what does that bring? Great relationships, more builders, more food handlers, more people spreading the good word, more people healthy, more people getting along with each other under any personality given. So stay focused on the right direction and pass it down to the new life, to the new life. And this way will work, all right? It always does. God says the pandemic was going to happen in 2016, and I predicted it with my professional colleagues, and it actually happened in 2020. And it killed a lot of people for no reason. And why was literally the only reason why sickness comes is because people get careless. And constant education is not being implemented. They try dabbling on to shit. Adapting to shit. So we're all going to be teaching each other. We're all going to be warning each other of the same things. We're all going to be, caring for our foods the same way, with all of the warning signs and guidelines and very firmness. Because God is not playing with anybody anywhere in the world. God is everywhere, in every country. One nation under God. They care about you just like we care about them. Right? Who do they call? They call us. Who do we call? We call them. Great relationships, great communication. That's all you're seeing on the news. Along with the good word and like what you shouldn't do and what's short-lived. and you always, you always get acquainted with your surroundings, they get familiar, and I mean, dude, you're chilling. You're having a fun time now. Go have fun and create good friendships all over the world. The right way, the healthiest way. And understand if something that can be consumed, make sure it's not toxic. Make sure you know the rules and the warnings. We're gonna start having bulletin boards of people that had a car crash. I want these bulletin boards to be very horrific, like real, like real life scenarios of real scare to life. As we say, we all bear the same fruits. Somebody fucks up. That's why when we have everything legal and everything designated, you're also gonna have, it could be a little video or a picture side by side with whatever they're going to purchase, whether it be a healing plant, teas, foods, vegetables, or medications, drugs, whatever it is. It's all legal and it's all organized. But nobody like trying to snake each other. It just straight to the point. There's a whole health. There's a whole world of health. Literally, they need to have, dude, there's a whole world of people to keep healthy. They're trying to like mess with my radioactivity and shit, dude. Ignore that. I ignore it. You get nowhere doing that. If I listened to any of that shit, we wouldn't have gotten to the solution with God. Anyways, yeah, so now everything's healthy, and now everything's organized, right? And now you can have like videos of education, like, hey, if you abuse this or this, just like the oils and hot Cheetos, or you abuse any of this all these great fruits, you're just gonna you're gonna die. Like, be very, very real. All right, so people won't pass the limit. And then usually if they abuse, like, fast food or medications, or if they eat too much of vegetables, like, they rot. Like, they always learn, like, you get me? Even a couple $100 on you guys, like, always eating out to eat, always buying gym workout clothes, always buying fits every weekend. It starts to like become meaningless, So you need to understand how you're even alive at the first place. Be kind for one another. You always have to maintain cleaning every day. Every single day there's traffic, tons of wind debris that collect. You need to be cleaning every day. All right? It's very, very important. See? I don't even know what the fuck that is, man. All those death threats. For no reason. I don't know what people got going on in their head, but it's not my problem. And it's not your problem either. You just go ahead and be there for one another. Alright? And there's no limit. We take the same healthy patterns to space, to the next planet. And the next planet can be like way more better. It could be like all like titanium, housing. It could be like whole, like set up all different. And underwater infrastructure too. Underground too. But you gotta understand how people can get very sick and very hungry if you be careless on the animals and what they eat, and if you're careless on themselves. It can like a toxic narrative can like spread like wildfire, and then there's some people that think they're tougher than you, and then they get you back, and then some people are seeing that and they know you're the problem, they get you, and then they start blaming what's in front of you and they're innocent. Dude, we saw all that crazy shit with God. So understand, just be there for one another. Or you're just gonna like be stressful for no reason. Worry less, trust God. And appreciate God right in front of you. Right in front of you. You get off of this video very more educated with the right direction. Enhance quality of life. Get along with God everywhere. Whoever's doing that radioactivity 24/7, yo, they ain't living. Like, they ain't living. How many more people, new employees, that are over here just sitting, messing with people? It gets very convincing. Shit can get very convincing. You know? So just, you know, stay focused. And always trust in God. Because literally, like, there's no losing with God. People can sound so confident in this and that, but hey, if you're not the problem, then you shouldn't worry. They're trying over here to convince the public so bad because they have something to hide, or I don't know what's going on. And I'm talking about like the radioactivity that they're doing. I just got shocked right here. Popping noise right there. And I know it's not anything to do with my house because they were following me in very public places too. Even when I went out of state. I hear that shit like very low frequency underwater too. And they try to make it look like my surroundings are saying things that they're not, because like we were literally getting along skateboarding. And then it made it look like this guy was like talking shit, but they weren't. Like literally, like mouth closed, didn't say anything, and then it looked like he was talking. Like it sounded. It's like if the voice was talking and the dude's mouth was shut. You get me? Like we were just skateboarding, or like just a simple breath, like. and then they like just put words in their mouth, like with like, you know. So like instead of blaming, I don't want innocent people to go, like, because the dude, God is real and hell is real. I don't want to burn in hell for no reason, but I'm gonna let it be known that God wants whatever it is to stop doing that. Because I mean, you're killing innocent people. That's how fucking wars start, dude. And what if it's not being affected on us, and we're just literally, you know, enjoying our day, and but they're being provoked. What's in front of you is being provoked, and they're toxifying their mind, and they're making it look like it's us, and we're over here like don't even know what's happening, and out of nowhere we get attacked. Dude, all that radio shit, you gotta eliminate it, dude. That's why I'm being very informed, dude. I don't even, dude, man, this is so pointless, but I'm not wasting my time in educating everybody at the same time. A lesson for all, no favorites. All we had to do, everybody was already like just getting right into work. I don't know, like people are trying to like go like pay people off that they think they have less than. They're trying to take jobs away from people and like just to control them. Like that's why we don't have. See, I heard like, I don't know, but anyways, yeah, dude, just get along with each other. It stops with you. If conflict's there, you just have to, you know, reach common ground, build. We have great algorithms of spreading the good word, billboards of, you know, feeding the community, being there for each other. You know, nobody wants to fail anymore. People like get greedy for no reason. People get jealous for no reason. They're not walking with God, you know? And it's not fair to everybody else that's doing everything right, that literally we have great lives, right? Because we put the work in, and we have like great partnerships that if something happens, we have great leaders. Hey, don't worry, we got you, man. Come on, build a new house. They're trying to take your house away from you for no reason. Don't worry about it. Give it to them. We'll create you a better one, you know? We'll make you a better everything. It's just a phase of life. Now you're entering a new chapter, more better house. When I'm literally laying down, dude, like they're literally like fucking like buzzing me or some shit, like, you know, I got like pressure like on my eye and it was buzzing me, and it's from the outside, dude. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they're dumb. People have like toxic ass narratives. Some people freak out on like movies of the good word, you know? Then they start getting careless, and then they start like drifting away from the importance on how everybody even lives in the first place. And then they start like not seeing value in other people if it's not them. So you always have to remain constant, man. And that's how you're respected when you go home at night. You know? God bless. And God will deliver a great life for us. Just always stay good. As a good person. They said I was gonna be dead yesterday with that radio. And look, God. Right here. You walk with God, it doesn't matter. They're trying to put pressure on my fucking organs and shit. And then fucking like put pressure right here, making me feel like I'm gagging, but I'm not. I'm perfectly healthy. I already told CDC about it. I informed the doctors. See what they try to do? And I informed the doctors because that's how, you know, they can get forgetful on administering patients. And I know it's not the doctor's fault. They do a great job. And we're looking forward for great success, great outcomes. We want, when everybody gets older, we want to be treated with the same care, firmness, knowledge, and compassion, right? And it was all through trial and error. That's why it needs to be, that's why we have great relationships in healthcare all over the world, internationally as well too. Because we learn that what we encounter and how we best treated it for the greatest outcome. I don't like to believe it, but I'm gonna tell you everything. I don't like to believe it, but I mean, when there's everybody good, there's also somebody that came in with a toxic narrative and started just, dishing out, a new medication, and it wasn't that great, and, it's all trial and error. So, I mean, we all see it. Everybody does stay silent. That's their profession and there's expertise, but I also have my expertise in just telling it all. That's how you can, be equally balanced and educated of what's out there. And I'm only one person. We're all seeing all of these things with God. Dude, some people don't even have to speak, and then like God is literally just talking in silence. Says all of these things of what happened before we were here to the present day. And that's why, like, you should appreciate everyone around the world, We have great Indian friends, great Iraqi friends, great Venezuela friends. They're all family, friends, great partners. And all of your business partners, like, your family has friends and their friends have friends and they also have great partnerships. Understand your partnerships and all of your business endeavors, they're very well connected, all right? So when people approach you and give you that value, right, that you desperately need when you come out to keep on having that great life, all right, digging, making more homes, spreading the good word, educating constantly, that's what gives you that great life. It's very, very important. We have video games, so everybody can keep getting used to each other, staying constant. Teamwork. That's what gets all the greatest, big, luxurious cities that you fell for. That's what got all of the nice burgers and deep dishes that we fell for. That's what got, the biggest mansions, architectures, teamwork, the good word. And it comes in many forms. Don't be judging. God welcomes all. God loves all. But we're going to address the obvious issue, dude. The obvious issue. Listening to all that shit, it robs us from our present day. It's not even, I don't want to hear that shit. What about, laughs and jokes and conversations, healthy relationships, healthy connections in real life that we can have with our friends and colleagues? So it takes away our great relationships. It takes away great communication skills. It takes away, like I said, great relations like that we've built all over. You get me? Ask the White House. Everybody, like, we've built all of these great equity and great relations, over time, to where we're not gonna let a new elect or a new person everywhere. This goes with everywhere in the country, everywhere. I don't know if they're a president of this place, a president of that country, any country. We've built great equity and good relationships internationally in great businesses, right? Making sure everyone's healthy and cared for and governed, right? But the right way and healthy way. And they're not gonna let one individual have a say of the whole world. Like, we all work together, dude. You get me? So we're all partners. You know, you needed the badge and food for thought, but we understood, like, oh, you know what, it's short lived. Just go ahead and good rules and good make use of, like, make it worth what you're doing. You're better off establishing that great relationships, keeping that good, you know, that good equity and good relationships and good standing. All right. We don't want you to be gasping for your breath when you don't have to. We don't want you to be getting sick when you don't have to. Alright? We don't want you to be fucking vibrating and shit and feeling all dizzy when you don't have to. God told me some people literally had surgeries. They took their organs out. They decapitated them because they were wrongfully being diagnosed, because they were telling the doctor they had pain. They were manipulating symptoms because of those idiots. Whoever it is, I don't know. Creating conflict and war when there was never any. You know that, dog. Like, you know that. All military, law officials, border patrol, we all great together. Like, dude, we are literally right there, like, in the borders, based everywhere. We are friends with each other in our community, There's no conflict. Now you know that unnecessary conflict came from that shit that looks very fucking convincing. Light projection, I don't know if you're, like, using pressure to, like, move people's mouths or trying to control us and influence our thoughts. I don't know, dude, but it's, like, pointless. A lot of innocent people are going for no reason, and nothing's happening to me or anybody in the world. When there's dirty water, you're right. You have every right to tell all of your surroundings if there's dirty water, because that fucks everybody in the world up. See how they try to fucking threaten and fucking low frequency? You ain't doing shit to nobody. Nobody's doing anything to you. Right? Were they like that when they put you in position? No. We gave them great opportunity. So continue, just give it a God. It's going to be dealt with. At least you'll get prison time. Did you do that for our families? For innocent people that were there for you? You ain't seen any value in anybody else. You fucking embarrassed trillionaires with this fucking great fundamental. Now everybody's getting it from the foundation. With good relationships, unbothered. Nobody's gonna be controlled. Trying to dilute God or what? The fuck you think God was gonna do? Give it a God. If you, to beyond your understanding, you give it a God. And you lead. It stops with you. Just make sure you're healthy. Because if you're sick, I'm sick. Just make sure you're cared for. I mean, that's why we get deployed, man. To be there, for God, everywhere. They invested, dude. They literally make us healthy. We're deployed to make them healthy. That's it. I'm not gonna have some fucking idiots on their fucking chairs, not even step 1 foot on the ground. It's easy to just talk shit just to send people out. just for your piss. Who knows? They probably don't value like anybody else but themselves. They're probably a bitch. They can't lead by example or some shit. If everything's against me, who cares? I'm not gonna let anything happen to God, our troops, our law officials. Everything's all paid for. Now you know how. The people are gonna keep on coming to your businesses. The people are gonna keep working for you. Now you know how to maintain when the economy fluctuates. The healthiest way, unbreakable way. Every employee, all staff, $10, $20 for a guaranteed raise every 3 months. And it's never gonna stop. And then you get extra funding with the good word, caring for our consumption, building. You're gonna teach the detainees, all right? What you felt right there when I said that was your wisdom, knowledge, and direction. Don't be acting on impulse. Knowing what you're feeling solves a lot. It solves tons. You're gonna teach them the right way. If they act south, you let them know. Everybody, what do they want to do? I mean, what are they there for? Yo, man, we've seen people literally like kill to be a millionaire and to be all like flashing and rotting on stage and shit. They're shit. Even they know when they're put in position, they gotta maintain a good, healthy, maintain the good word and keep everybody involved in getting used to each other. They can't hack it when they're put in position if they do it the wrong way in secret. Some people get PTSD going against God like a bitch. Just be there for one another, man. That's how you're respected. There's no power to attain. Mansions. Build everyone mansions. No waste of time. People are not wasting their time. The ones that made no excuse and they're building, that good home for now. They're coming back and they're tearing that down and they're just building capital. Even the fix and flippers, they're just building capital, man. And then the agents, they're just making sure that, they don't pass the market value, that the market value stays. Every market is different. Don't freak out when you see homes being priced at $500,000 and you saw one similar that was priced at $250,000 and a whole different area and state. Every market is different. That's why agents are very important, to make sure that they're literally, maintaining that healthy so everybody can keep on being healthy, getting, the health care that they need. It's all health care. It's all for life. They need great leadership. They need great direction. It got toxic within. We give great examples without, and you desperately need us. And we desperately need you too. So get all that shit out of your head. And be very forgiving, because they could literally make an innocent person look very guilty, man. And God will reward us all with a great life worth having. Everyone in brand new everything. And then if they want a brand new car, every 5 years they bring it in, you give them brand new. And the old cars, you melt it. You can use it for some spaceship material, more infrastructure, tools needed, remolding on a new car. That's why people are always saying that thank you for your service, right? Because what do? We serve health. We don't play with people's lives. See? That popping sound? When I said that? We don't play with people's lives. We don't play with people's health. Because then it becomes a healthcare risk to everyone in the world. So we build, we give. Make sure they're healthy and cared for. That's why we serve a great, healthy plate. Because we know whatever we give off to the front of us comes to us. It always comes back to you. Nobody's playing that shit anywhere in the world. All that barking for no reason, it's not even a handful. Because the real ones everywhere in the world, everyone, no one excluded. It's not even one or two. They're scared. That's why they stay constant. It's their fear, dog. They're in denial. God bless.